Okay. It's been a while, I was supposed to say, but I'm dropping a lot of videos now. It's time for another video. It's time for our weekly analysis, where we will go through some what market has been doing, what it has done, what we can expect, etc., etc. Right? So let's start with the DXY, like we always do. We always start with DXY, right? And as you can see, we are currently inside this weekly fair value gap, right? And this bottom purple line or red line is the weekly CE, the 50% of this weekly CB, and this is the top of the CB. My first initial, what I said was that I was anticipating price to react aggressively from this 50%. But as you guys can see on the weekly, this is the weekly time frame on the DXY. We continue to push up, and now we have retraced back down here. So on the weekly, we do have our weekly busy that currently has been disrespected, but it doesn't mean that this will be used as a inverse fair value gap. And why is that? It's solely because we do have buy sell liquidity resting above. I will be much more sure with my bias of being short if we would have seen a sweep of this high, like this high. If we would have seen this play where we take out this high and then break below this swing low, then we can see maybe this would then use as a inverse fair value gap and then continuation to downwards. But this low, this is a swing low that's been taken out, but this is not a break structure. Why is that? Because this low did not make a higher high. So this is the last swing low, which made our higher high, right? So we can see that we have been in a deep retracement. So what I did say on previous video was that I was looking at this daily busy because this is the last swing high that made a lower low on the daily. So as long as we was trading below this daily CB, I was still looking to take some shorts because I was overall bearish on the DXY, because previous to these two candles we were in a downtrend, right? And then what happened was which I also presented and said, that if I'm going to change my bias, it's not about just taking out these highs, which is more obvious on the H4. It's not about just taking out these highs. It's also about which manner we do that, right? So why I was bearish before this massive push up was because we did have equal lows. So which for me is, I did say I see this as sell side liquidity. Right? So, or external point, or whatever you want to refer to as. And I did say that price could even take out this high and still respect this last imbalance point, which is the high end of the fair value gap, and then keep going down, it could still do that. And my bias was very clear that as long as we traded below this fair value gap and did not push above all this high with a volume, then I would still be bearish. But as you can guys see, we almost took out this low, and then instead we saw this massive volume kicking in, and yeah, so this is where price is at. So this is definitely a breaker structure for me. On the H4, right, okay, we did see, we were bullish on the weekly, so we in some cases, if you're trading with the correlation pairs and different correlation pairs and all of this, then you should see then you should maybe have switch bias once the H4 switch from being bearish to bullish. But for me, we need one more confirmation, which was this. So now I'm definitely bullish, because now the daily and the H4 and the weekly, H4 is bullish, daily is definitely bullish since we took out this high. So for me, this last down candle is where all of this buy signal, this is our last down candle, which makes our bullish order block, right? So what could happen is that we make a last push down till this area, and we see lower lows, lower highs, and then we see this shift in momentum, right? And from here we should just push up, for me, which is the most obvious one. So this is what I'm anticipating on the DXY. We could also go up even higher before, so it's not from here. We could even, all this trade could happen like from this, maybe this, all of these rejection wicks on the H4, which is also a possibility that we see this kind of move once price is getting back down there. And then let's make it even more clear, so we can see that, okay, we're pushing up, we test this area, and then we see this kind of price action. So I am bullish on the DXY, which is why it's green here. So we now just want to see how price behaves once it has getting back down to this, because I am quite sure that price will return to this bullish order block, right? So let's get down to our favorite pair that we like to trade, where we love to trade, which is the Euro USD. Yeah, this one has actually, I was a little bit undecisive, because I had, like I said, when I had the bearish bias on DXY, I had quite an obvious bullish bias on the Euro, because we can see we have all of this external liquidity, equal highs, whatever you want to call it, resting above. So all of this is buy side liquidity, right? And for me, it's quite obvious that we are, because if you're looking at the monthly, there is no reason why price should continue there is one reason why we should continue upwards. But we do have this monthly CB where I can see price get back up to before pushing down, which could happen when the NFP happens. Something huge needs to happen before pushing up, and then see this continuation of sell-off, because yeah, I am leaning, this one looks much more bearish than bullish for me. But we are at this moment, we are on the, this is the monthly, this is the monthly, right? Monthly time frame, and we can see the break structure, and then we saw this liquidity sweep and then the sell-off. So we do have this monthly CB, and on the weekly, this is the equal highs that I was referring to, which was obvious on the daily. But we also have this bullish order block, which for me is also a point where we can see some levels taken up from. So I could see a reaction from this level, or we can just continue to the downside. And all this low could be saved from maybe here pushing up and taking all of these highs, and then return to the CB. We just need to see. But what we also can see on that weekly time frame is that we do have a trend line, or whatever you want to call it, trend line liquidity, where we could anticipate a last swing. So I just like to use the liquidity sign, right? So we do have equal highs, and we also have equal relative equal lows. So we have liquidity on both ends. But since we have taken out this swing point, I see that the next target is these lows, and then we may respect this. We need to see how the trend line is holding, right? So on the daily, since we took out, we have low, we had this high that failed to make a lower low, and we have now this low that has failed to make a higher high. So this also is a higher long swing points, definitely. So we had that point, we had this point, and we're waiting for our third touch, right? So, since we did take out this, this is a break structure. It's much clearer if we use the weekly. And the weekly, since we did take out this swing point, we should be a little bit more bullish. But as you can see, now it looks more bearish than bullish, and the XY is looking also much more bullish. and then bearish. So if I am if I have the DXY here, so one level for me on the DXY. So what we can see is a possibility that we can see when we are referring both of these trades is that when price is pushing up, maybe till this area, that's when we see on the DXY, when it's pushing up, DXY is pushing down, right? And this road and this like correction in price where we go from this high to making a higher high to making a higher low point is where I think this road down is where we take out these equal highs, right? And then from there we should continue downwards. So I can see that once taking out all these equal highs, we could see a plummet. We could see a price just plummet down, like really. So that's just one of my ideas. That once price has taken out all these highs, we should see a sell-off. So yeah. Weekly, as I said, since we did take out this high, this swing point, we are leaning a little bit more bullish. But as I said, the overall trend for this is definitely bearish. Definitely bearish. So yeah, I'm just marking up a bearish order block that may be of interest. So but now currently it's no reason to look for anything but sells. We're close below, we should see a continuation. Yeah, that's basically it. So I'm leaning more bearish, but let's see how price behaves. But if price were to do this kind of price action where we break below, then we could continue to all these equal highs, and then we could see just a massive plummet. Okay, that's euro. Let's see GU, what GU can present us. So the monthly, let's see, monthly we did close below with a candle. We do have equal lows here. This is breaker structure. And why I'm saying that is because we close below with the bodies, so the weekly should be close below. So this is a previous area of interest. swing point taken out, closed above, and we could see a we do have the monthly CB up here, so that could definitely be a area of interest. Weak support. We just need to wait and see, right? But we are definitely bearish on the high end. And it also correlates with this higher time frame. So we are definitely bearish on GU, and we just need to wait and see how it will behave. We did not close below, but the body tells us what it wants to do. And we also have like relative equal lows here also, which just indicates that price may in the future wants to head down to these levels, right? And then what is stopping the price from just taking out this week also, right? So that's how I'm operating. That's how my mind is operating. It could be right, it could be wrong, but and we also have external equal highs here, but we'll see when price attacks those highs, right? It may be in 5 years, it may be in 2 years, it may be in 1 year, you never know. We could just anticipate what price wants to do with this. So since we did see this shift in market structure, from being bearish to bullish, we are also, as we saw on euro, bullish, weeklies bullish. So yeah, we need to see how price is behaving. But since we did so now we could definitely anticipate some bearish movement. On the daily, we have seen this break of structure, right? So break of structure on the daily, and if we were to continue, we can just see price just fill out all this imbalance and get back to a discount before, if it presents us a reason to look for some continuation to the upside, right? So we had now broken under this trend line, and yeah, we need to see. Let's see how it looks on the H4. So this is a good level for price to respect. This is another good level. So yeah, I'm just painting out ideas where what it should do. Um, so we now have our H4 swing high. If we were to break above it, then we could see even a continuation, because then H4 has changed from being bearish to bullish once again. So we need to be careful there, because it could also just be a wick out and continuation. That could also happen, but from my experience, this high should be respected. I did, as I showed you guys in one of my videos, I did enter a short here. So I did capture I think it was 1.1 to 2.5 risk to reward. Closed out quite good. I closed out at this swing low to the left. So you can see on the left. So yeah, I got basically a sniper entry. Very beautiful. So GU looks, for me, it looks like it just wants to continue to the downside, honestly. We did close below on the H12. So it just indicates that price is maybe ready to go down, right? We just need to wait for confirmations. But if this high were to be broken to the upside, and we start to see bullish pattern continue, bullish like pattern, then we could anticipate price to just raid all of these equal highs. It could happen, but in my experience, it's a higher chance that we just will go down and fill out all of this void. There are some bullish, there are some like small stops on the way, but from my experience, we should go down like till this area. So this is a possibility that we may see. Yeah, wait and see. Okay, AUD, USD. One day is my favorite broker. I'm changing all the time, so there is no favorite broker, but currently I'm using Wanda because it's much trustworthy, and the fact that FTMO also bought it just makes it even more safe, trustworthy. So yeah, AUD. We can see that AUD has respected this bullish order block, or respected, but we see this imbalance being violated. So yeah. So now basically we are back on till this gap, and we just need to wait and see what price wants to do, honestly, because now is no data to go from. But if you look at the monthly, we respected this monthly CB. We disrespected this bullish order block, bullish fair value gap. Daily, this is the daily wick. So yeah, nothing too crazy there. What I want to see here is H4 switching from being bearish to bullish. So this kind of play where we just, and then we could anticipate higher prices, right? So yeah, that's that. And then we have Euro GBP we could take, which has honestly made no sense what it wants to do. Okay, so this basically looks like a sweep of liquidity. This is a strong reference point because we saw this bullish cream being formed and still disrespected, so which indicates that this will act like as magnets. I'm using some terms that you may guys have not heard, but yeah, this is like the old school terms. So this just indicates that since we disrespected this bullish QM, what I'm saying, bullish imbalance, bullish fair value gap, then we could see that price is, yeah, jumped down, had a hard time pushing above, had a hard time pushing below, push below, and then just continuation to take out the sell side. So basically what I'm waiting for is this CB to be formed, to hold, and if this CB is holding, then we may just see continuation to the downside, right? Okay, so that's basically it. This is basically it. This is the weekly analysis, and yeah, we'll let's see what we can catch this coming. Let's take gold. Last but not least, let's also look at gold, which is another pair that I'm trading. Also trading gold. Oof. This could be a massive. Gold will definitely touch 3,000 and all of this. With all of these indecisions and chaos happening around the world with the Trump and the Ukraine and all of this, gold is something that surges. It rises when it's chaos, right? It's a safe haven. So yeah, you should just look for some buys on gold, especially when we get to this area. But yeah, you need some buys, you need some confirmations And right now it looks like a short. Looks like the bears are in control. We are still bullish on the weekly. This is a weekly busy. So price could theoretically just push up, but then we want to see something on the H4. H4 is currently, the swing point is up here. So as long as this low is intact, we should, this high is intact, we should just continue downside. But we could also see this play where we make a lower high, lower low, and if that happens in this area, then we know that, okay, we just need for 50 minutes confirmations, and then we may see like this on smaller time frames, and then the smaller time frames are also correcting, and then we know that, okay, that's the sign. That's the sign to look for some longs. Okay, let's wait and see. I hope you all are having a good week, a good trading week. Take it easy, take care, and I'll see you guys next week. See you soon. Bye.